Welcome everyone to J Wolf Tech Broadcast. I'm actually going to be focusing on the entertainment side of things today, and that we're starting to really get into the movie summer blockbuster kind of flicks that are going on. The first one I actually have here is Iron Man 3. I saw this Friday. I meant to get the review up after that, but I kind of wanted to think about it for a little bit. I actually almost went and saw it again. I actually had a free chance to go see it, but I just didn't have time to fit that in. And I would have liked to because, well, I'll get into that with the review. A little bit, Shane Black is actually the director of this. It is not the, I forget his name, the Fabio guy. I believe that's his, Fabio, I forget what his last name is. But he's actually a security guard and the bodyguard for Tony Stark through all these movies. He used to be the director of this, but he's actually, he's still a producer on it, or some type of producer on it. So he still has some work in it. You can definitely tell Shane Black is behind this. Shane Black is this is his second directing debut, but he's well known for The Lethal Weapon. He was a writer on that. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Boy Scouts. He's had a lot of older work that he's been involved with, and he's a great director from what I've seen and heard from him. But everyone's back. You got the Mandarin. That's what you see mainly in the trailer. You do see that. I forget the guy who plays that though. But we got Guy Pearce as a villain, we got Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow's back as Peppers, and then we have Don Chaney, who is also back as kind of the military friend to Tony Stark, and he's also, he's the Iron Patriot. You guys see that? You guys see that in the trailer. That's not too much of a spoiler. I am going to refrain from spoilers on this. I will discuss a few things about it, but I'm not going to get into spoilers because there's a couple spoilers that you can do in this. Overall, it's a pretty lengthy movie, 2 hours 15 minutes. That's it for just kind of the intro on it. Everyone's back. It said Scarlett Johansson was in it. I've seen people mention that Scarlett Johansson's in it. Unless I missed something, I did not see her in it, but it could have been when I went to the bathroom. I don't think so. I didn't see her in it, so I was, you can't miss her. That being said, all the original cast is back in the storyline. This is after the Avengers. You get a glance of that in the trailer. Tony Stark does kind of discuss that, the issues that he's having with that. And one thing I want to get into this review is the previews. There wasn't very many things new in the previews. We have the Great Gatsby, the new Superman trailer was shown. Star Trek, Into Darkness, all those were shown and they look great on big screen. I will say that. I'm really excited for this summer. That being said, there wasn't anything spectacular in the previews. I do like to go over that with this review. But now getting into this movie, I have seen all the Iron Mans, Iron Man 1, 2, I've seen the Avengers, I've seen the only Marvel thing that I haven't really seen is any of the Hulk movies, and I haven't seen Captain America. Just didn't catch my interest, but I've seen Thor, I've seen all the other Marvel creations, and Marvel really knows what they're doing with these videos. This was shown in Iron Man 1, which by far is still probably my favorite. This Iron Man 3 actually sits in between. It's definitely better than the second one. The second one was more of the same stuff we saw in the first one with less creativity, more Iron Man, more goofiness, if you say. And there's a lot of goofiness, there's a lot of sarcasm, and there's a whole lot of witty kind of banter, which Shane Black is really good at doing, and Tony Stark, or Robert Downey Jr. is also excellent at that. I don't see... This is more of a Tony Stark movie. We get a lot more Tony Stark, a lot less Iron Man. You see Tony Stark doing more Tony Stark stuff. He's more... has to use his mind to get out of things, and he's doing a lot more action with just himself. Over the whole entire Iron Man, just getting in the suit and go around destroying things. You don't see as much of that as we actually have seen before. And there's a lot of interesting kind of new takes on things that we haven't seen before that I really enjoyed. This movie is dense. It really is. It's a lot denser. Usually when you go into Iron Man flick, they're not very dense. You basically know what's going to take place. The Mandarin... they handle this character a little differently. I forget the guy who plays the Mandarin, but they handle this a little bit differently than, I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but there is a twist in this that some people are going to hate, especially if you really follow the Mandarin, because he's a great Marvel character, If you follow that at all and you know anything about it, you're going to be disappointed. If you don't know anything about the Mandarin, you're going to be fine. You're not going to notice anything. I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a twist midway through that you will. I mean, I don't know what to think about it. I'm still kind of processing it. You're either going to take it or not take it. Some people will hate it. I've talked to a few people on the way out that didn't even know who the Mandarin was, so it wasn't a big issue. But I did run into one person who was pretty pissed off about it on what took place. Anyways, it's pretty lengthy. All the acting's great. There wasn't really any bad acting. Tony Stark is if he doesn't sign up, I know his contract's done for these Iron Man movies. If he doesn't sign up, this is the best Tony Stark we're going to see in a movie, because it is more Tony Stark and less Iron Man. He's going through a little bit of anxiety, kind of post-traumatic stress syndrome after Avengers, the first one, because he does almost die in it when he's going through the wormhole, and he just kind of blacks out and falls down. You do see how that affects him. You see a little bit different side of him, where he's having a little bit of a panic attacks. He's having issues sleeping, and he's just devoting his whole self into his work. And that being said, there's a lot of new things that it brings to the table with how they go about the Iron Man and how everything is kind of taken. Don Chaney's great as the Iron Man Patriot, or the military side that's working with Iron Man. Their chemistry really works well. And there's also a kid in this movie that has a decent role in it that plays along with Iron Man, and he's great. Overall, it was a very good performance. There was a few kind of cheesy lines and cheesy parts where you're like, what he's gonna say, just say it so we can move on to the next thing. But overall, it was the humor was right there, really lightened things up, and it jumped around a lot. You would go from a really kind of dramatic, kind of stressful drama type environment, then you just jump right into a little bit of humor to kind of ease that tension. It does have a little bit of darkness. This is the darker of all the Iron Man films, and they throw some comedy in there to not make it too dark. It's not The Dark Knight Rises, how that was such a dark movie. I mean, there was no humor in it. It was dark and dense. This movie also is dark and dense, but it has a little bit of Tony Starkness in it, where it comes out and it just allows for a little bit more. It flows very smoothly. I didn't think it didn't feel like 2 hours, even though it was really dense. It was about 2 hours and 15 minutes, but that might just be because I was really involved in the movie. This is not a movie you go to watch. This is a movie you go to get involved with. You really have to pay attention. Guy Pearce is great. He was a great villain in this. Every time I see him, I can't think of help to see Memento, though. That's just me, but he's great in this as one of the villains. And Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper Potts is actually a lot more involved in this movie. She actually does stuff. She's not just like a talking business kind of analytical person. She's actually very involved in this, and I'm curious to see how this might take place in the next, maybe the Avengers and maybe the next Iron Man. We don't know what's going on with the Iron Man. I will say one thing: stay till after the credits. Definitely stay till after the credits. If you don't know that by now with the Marvel movies, just stay till after the credits. Some of the best stuff is actually at the end. There's not really a whole lot of spoilers with that, but it is pretty cool to watch. Just definitely watch it. It's worth waiting, 5 to 10 minutes to wait till the end to see that. Overall, this is not my favorite Iron Man. I still like the first one better. Just the originality of it and the whole entire. That was just so well done. I mean, with introducing the Iron Man. But this one is very good. It has a lot of Tony Stark, which I like. I like the more Tony Stark over just, the second one was more just Iron Man, throwing him in the suit, and that's it. This has a lot more Tony Stark in it, and a lot more depth and character involvement that I really liked. Like I said, all the security guard by Fabio, I forget what his name is. He's great. He's really great in this. Like all of it, he kind of adds a little bit more humor into it. And this actually goes into a little bit of his past, a little bit of Tony Stark's past, into how he developed these people that actually hate him. And that's mainly because he's a narcissistic ass at times, and that comes back to haunt him. That being said, I really hope they still continue to go about this. If I was rating this out of 100, I'd probably give it maybe mid-80s. I do want to see it again. I do definitely want to say that. I can watch, I mean, Iron Man 1, I've watched it 4 or 5 times. You can watch that as many times as you want. I've seen the Iron Man 2 a few times. This one's the same way. It's a very enjoyable movie. I would recommend it for anybody. Acted, Robert Downey Jr.'s, it's the best Tony Stark that I've seen so far. And I like seeing the involvement with him and the kid, and just the whole entire, him getting back more to the smartest person in the room and just outthinking people and using what he has to instead of what, just building up all these massive $1 million things and being able to do that. I would definitely recommend it, but if it definitely won't be movie of the year. I can tell you that. There's a lot of other good movies that are coming out this year. Definitely go check it out. I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed it enough that I would go back and see it. Definitely, it's a little bit lengthier, a little bit more in depth, so I want to be able to go and actually enjoy it this time. The first time I watched it, I was looking at more of a review aspect side of things, so I was trying to get as much as I could and just kind of, break down everything that I was going about when I was actually viewing it. Definitely go check it out. It ranks up there with the first one, but it's not quite as good. If you ask me, there's a few parts that I even still think about now where I was like, hold on a second, this doesn't really add up. Like there's just a few things, but you end up looking past those, and they go by really quick, and you're not really, they don't really bother you that much. And how they handle the Mandarin, that's going to be something that some people hate or love. It didn't bother me. I wasn't that into comic books, so I don't know. I know some of the story, but not the whole thing. But some people, it's going to really bother. That being said, go check it out. If you want to see more reviews like this on the entertainment video side of things, definitely let me know. There's a lot of stuff coming up out right now. I want to do a summer movie, what's coming up video at some point, but I haven't yet. Check out Iron Man 3. I would recommend it to anybody. I don't care who you are. I'd recommend it to my mom, even though she probably doesn't know who Marvel even is. Check it out, and thanks everyone for watching.